All right. This is Monday, the Inspiration Mondays, and this is your host Isaiah Israel on the WMB show. And welcome back, me. Cause I've been gone for those 2 days of last week. I had a little bit of a stress problem, and I finally got it done, getting my son's American passport done and everything like that. So they're good. But believe me, I was going from pillar to post. And I was just dead beat tired, man. I couldn't believe how much stress uh, I was under. I was going here, going there, getting this done, getting that done, getting this legalized, getting that legalized. I'm like, oh my God, what else do they want? Shit, I don't know. But I got it done, you guys. And I'm happy to be back and really be and doing what I want to do and really relating to you guys some important stories. So now on Mondays we talk about inspirational people who really just putting it down, and they don't have to necessarily be famous, but some are. But the idea of what this show is about is speaking truth to power and allowing people to really access their innermost human uh, um, powers, I guess you want to call it, that innermost deep sense that allows you to go beyond the norm, you know what I mean? To overcome anything and everything that seems to be above human. And so this is what we're going to really focus in on tonight. But before we even get it started, let's get at it. Wow, now that went without a hitch. So that's like a first, right? So look, so look like I, got around the buffering part. So let's hope that I stay this way and we won't have any problems because I'm really feeling that beat, you guys. And but listen, like I was saying tonight and every Monday, we're talking about inspirational people and how they overcome fantastic odds in order to achieve their goal. But first, like I always do, I always talk about my book, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit. We deal with the fantastic lies that white people love to believe that they are doing or that they are, that they have been. And we all know from previous, talks and discussions on my book that white people are not white. They're not Caucasian. They're not Aryan. They're not Anglo-Saxon. They're not European. They're just bleached out Negroes coming from albino, Dravidian albinos out of India. And they were oppressed and suppressed and contained in the Asian steppes. And, like I said many times before, and the story goes on. And all of that can be had and understood in my book, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit. We also cover um, book two, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit 2, Understanding White Supremacy. And white supremacy and white superiority, you guys, is nothing but a lame ass uh, ideology trying to escape from under black oppression. That's all of what it is. And when you understand that, you have a greater sense of self, a greater sense of history, a greater sense of time, and you can understand what had happened, what is happening, what will happen. And that's all what is required. Because when you know the past, you can understand the present and predict the future. And I think I covered this particular topic very well. I mean, it comes in 800 to 1,000 pages for $18. and it's an ebook series that is available on Amazon, and it's worth it. Some of these books that are 800 pages, you're going to be paying like $80 or more. So I wanted it to be not only informative, but also in a way in which people can really relate to it. And it's written in a two-person format between myself and my super ego or ego Bob. And I just let it loose and let it go and just let me be me and allow me to say what I want to say and in respect to what my alter ego would say as well. You know what I mean? So he's very outspoken. So that's just the other side of me, right? So with all that being said, I really want to make sure that you guys understand that you're more than what you have become. Individually and collectively, black people created every civilization on the planet and gave the world morality, science, arts, mathematics, medicine, law, astronomy, astrology, physics, you name it. And if it wasn't for black people, the world could not be and cannot be. And for everybody or everyone comes from black people, which means we're all black. And one of the things that I try to put across time and time again is that white people don't know what they're doing. If they did, they would not have done what they did in terms of spreading the 4Ds throughout all the world: death, destruction, disease, and despair. And creating racial categories that don't make any damn sense because they don't make any sense and they know they don't make any sense. And this is the reason why there's so much angst in the world, so much hate in the world because, the people are just following what they do, white folk do. And they've been doing it since the time they came into existence, some 5,000 years ago. Black people civilized them twice, and they still don't know what the word civil means. And like anything else, there's always a constant battle between good and evil. And like I said many times before, white people are possessed, devilishly possessed by the devil we call white supremacy. They cannot let it go. They will not let it go. It is deeply ingrained in their heart, soul, and mind to the point where it has become a cancer that they just cannot get rid of that is absolutely, positively killing them. Because, if you get into a lot of hate, that really weighed down your body, causing strokes and heart attacks and restricting the or blood vessels or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a doctor, but I know. But when you let go of all of that hate, all of that suspicion, all of that, envy or whatever the case may be, you liberate yourself from a lot of things that would not normally damage you. And this is what white people are suffering from. And this is the reason why they're dying. I mean, out of the 50 states, 37 of them, white people are dying more so than being born. And that's nationwide and worldwide as well. And I spoke about this. To maintain your population, you need a 2.1 birth rate. And white people's birth rate is like 0.09 to 1.2 at best. So they're dying out. They're going extinct. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And when you couple that with white abortions worldwide, and you couple that with white-on-white crime and drug abuse and drug overdoses, they're not going to be around for another 20, 25 years. And plus, black people are exploding in population. I think our birth rate is like 8.9. Mexicans 9,999. Damn. I mean, you can't make this shit up. And this is the reason why there's so much angst in the mind of white folks, because they're facing annihilation, genetic annihilation. And they know that. But if you listen to what they're talking about and how they speak, you will swear up and down they'll be in control for the next 100 years. But listen, we're going to move on because I really want to try to cover a lot of things that I found to be quite interesting for tonight's episode. And so sometimes you're going to see on this show, especially on Monday, that it doesn't necessarily have to be a famous person that's doing something or special or some individual. It could be a book, it could be a person who wrote a play or something. I don't know. But tonight, I really wanted to focus on our government, the United States government's greatest cover-up, at least one of them. And I really wanted to focus in on that, and we're going to do that right now. I'm going to see if this comes up. So we're going to get rid of my book and move right on into the Facebook post from which this comes. Now, this is my Facebook friend, Derek Tomlin, and I saw the book to be very interesting. So I'm going to read it, and it's not that very long. And as you can see, the name of the author is Alan R. Adashik, if I'm pronouncing his name right. And it's 100 Years of Deception. And so it starts with our government's greatest cover-up. And it says, on April the 8th is a day that should live in infamy, but does not. Because of a comprehensive and ongoing cover-up by the United States government of what happened on the ignoble and fateful day, an American spy ship, the USS Liberty, operating in international waters off the coast of Gaza in the Middle East, was a victim of a vicious, unprovoked attack that killed 34 of its crew and wounded 174 others. The attack itself was a planned false flag event, the purpose of which was to bring the United States into the Six-Day War on the side of Israel, a nation in conflict with several other Middle Eastern nations. The attack on the USS Liberty occurred 52 years ago, on April 8, 1967. Since that day, Israel has maintained that the attack was an unfortunate blunder on their part. You're right. And incredibly, the United States government had done everything in its power to help perpetuate this lie. There was a very good reason for this. Our government had prior knowledge of the attack and apparently was a party to it or complicit to it. The name for this joint venture between the United States and Israel was Operation Cyanide. Incredibly, the deal was, after the Liberty sank with all hands, the United States could obliterate Cairo in a Hiroshima-like nuclear explosion. This is impossible to believe. This impossible to believe reality is not conjecture or speculation. It can be verified by watching Dead in the Water, a 108-minute BBC video expose of the USS Liberty incident on YouTube. So check that out. So it's called Dead in the Water, a 108 BBC video expose of the USS Liberty. And it goes on to say additional information about the attack on the USS Liberty can be obtained from a book written by Alan R. Adashik entitled 100 Years of Deception, a very good book, published by Stratton Press and available from Amazon Books. This book also tied the attack on the USS Liberty into a greater plan to create the state of Israel, beginning with America's wrongful entry into World War I, the planting of the siege which brought about World War II, and the Holocaust, and the war on terror which presently gripped the world. Where the world is today is no accident or natural progression of events. We got where we are today through the meddling and intervention of a small circle of the world's most powerful and richest men. how did this and why is what 100 years of deception is about. Now, tonight, like I said, it's about inspiration. But sometimes you just have to take a step back, sit back, examine the information, examine the evidence, and when you take all of the bullshit off the table, what is left must be true. So I give Alan Adachik and his book a thumbs up, two thumbs up as far as that goes, because I really believe, and I know this to be true, because America has a lot of blood on its hands, and at some point we're going to have to really pay the piper. And I believe it's just way too late to save it, America, from its any level of redemption that it may have. It's just way, way out in left field. It's not even in the ballpark. So just as so many ego-based empires lay to waste in time or overtime, and so will America. So there's a new dawning, you guys. And for those who are listening, believe me, the handwriting is on the wall. White folks have done this twice and have lost the civilization that they took over from black people. And this is just one of them. They're not as smart as they like to think they are. And they're not very smart. They're not very wise. And they're not filled with understanding. They only filled with the bullshit they like to put out and preach and speak on as if, they know what they're talking about. And a really good example is the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1968 FHA Act. These are bullshit acts and bullshit civil rights acts that were passed that did not need to be passed. They were already covered in the 1866 Civil Rights Act. So all of these so-called laws that white people passed for the benefit of black people is bullshit laws. You know what I mean? So it's like color of law. It looks like it's a law. It looks good. It sounds good, but it really doesn't have any impact. And it doesn't. White people, white men in particular, like the little bitch ass man behind the curtain and Wizard of Oz. Just pull back the damn curtain, see that's a little bitch ass man there, and slap him. That's it. They have never beaten us in anything, and they know this, and they fear it, and they fear a black planet. End of discussion. There's no more thought about it. And they know all of these laws that they passed, whether they're talking about redlining, black codes, Dred Scott decision. All of that is bullshit because it's all taken away from the 1866 Civil Rights Act that not only so-called freed white slaves first and foremost because they were the ones who were slaves in America, but also freed the prisoners of war, the local indigenous American, the Indian, the Negro, or what a lot of people like to call the nigger. You know what I mean? So when you read the book, those two books that I wrote, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit, 1 and 2, and this particular book, your eyes gotta open up. And because the idea that white folk created something out of nothing is ridiculous. Black people created the Greek and the Roman civilization, the American civilization, every other civilization that has ever been created. How can the people who just got here 5,000 years be the people who's only 2 seconds older than dirt? It cannot be. It won't be. And we're the ones, black people, niggers, are the ones who brought these Christians, these Slavs, these what they would normally be called pinks and growls under the black elite of Europe, who were a minority controlling the white majority. It was the opposite of what is going on today. So what white people are doing is nothing but revenge. White supremacy and white superiority is a liberation ideology from black oppression. Black people were never and have never been the object of their scorn since day one. White people have been the object of scorn from black people because we were just Christianizing the hell out of them, forcing them to bow down to a black god and using the God principle for their obstruction, for their decimation and everything else. See, you got to realize that King James was a black man, and along with King Charles and King George. King James took the skin off of white people's back and made his book cover for his Bible. There was a huge human skin trade, and white people were the object of that. Are you feeling me on this one? And so when you get into the Tripolitan War, you begin to see that white people were taking offense to this. And their backs were against the wall. And they started fighting. That's it. This is not hard. This is not something that it's difficult to see. Because when you put all the pieces in the proper places and understand that white people are responding to the oppressive nature in which they were living under by black people, that you begin to see what they've been trying to hide all these years, for the last 150 plus years. And so, people like Alan Adashik, I really, give him 2 thumbs up because it was a hell of a book. And I can't say enough to really give kudos to this man and what he had done. And I'm going to go back here and, it's a video on YouTube called Dead in the Water. It's a BBC expose on the USS Liberty incident that you can watch. And you can really verify how evil America and how complicit America is in on this. Just utterly disgusting. But tonight I digress from that, and we're going to move on. And we're going to cover another group of men that I really, 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 you guys, have a lot of respect for. And I'm going to bring them up right now. This is the Central Park 5 guys. I think like in the 90s they were put into jail, or in prison rather, where they were literally beaten and raped I don't know how many times. And, that shit goes on in jail. It was a sad fucking day for them and for their family, for their friends. And just to go over what it's about, you would have to really and literally take into position of the Netflix special called When They See Us. And I would just, I heard about it, I read about it a long time ago, and you know how white folk like to say, well, a nigger did it. It gotta be real. They're the most vicious animals, miniature society in American, in the United States of America. They do all the crime. They do all the rapes. They do all the robberies. Do all the killing. Man, fuck you, white boy, white girl. Because all of that shit you talking, while you talking it, you spreading that pussy and just giving it up out of both pants legs. You guys are the biggest freaking criminals on the face of the fucking planet. All you have done since you've been here have spread death, destruction, disease, and despair. That's not something that's hard to see. You guys have the media element to hide your hand with the knife in it, and the blood is just dripping, and I mean watering the ground like Niagara Falls. in one hand and a shotgun or 45 in the other one. You guys, man, look, I'm not going to hide my goddamn feelings because, when I see uh, the Central Park Five, Matthias Reyes, Kerry Wise, Yusuf Salam, Raymond Santana, and Antron McCray. I mean, they got their money, they got relieved, they got vindicated, but that's not the fucking point. You see the bitch in the middle of Raymond Santana and Antron McCray, Linda Fairstein. This bitch, man, I don't even know how these guys don't kill this bitch. I really don't. It would be like the heaven sent message to prosecutors to say, hey, make sure you do the goddamn job right. Make sure you lock up the people who are responsible. And the guy who did it was saying that he was responsible, but according to Linda Fairstein, she didn't give a fuck. She just said, whatever nigga that was out there in Central Park, lock him up. We're going to look at them and treat them as if they're guilty. And Trump bitch ass put out a news story saying, these people are guilty. And they should be in jail. They're the menace to society. They're the worst elements of our society, black men, basically. And then, the funny thing about it, the minute they say this shit, white men and white boys out there killing. Do I need to say this again? They're not only killing themselves, but 90% of the cops that are killed in America are killed by white men, not black people. It is not so much of an intraracial violence, it's interracial, where white on white and black on black crime happen. That's just the way it goes. But when you look at this nasty, troglodyte, knuckle-dragging bitch who got famous, who made a lot of money from the young man being put into prison and went on to write, books on crime or whatever, and she won or was about to win a major award, but they took all that shit back, and now her career just going into spiral mode. I mean, she's just losing out on everything, but that's not enough. Because if I was one of these motherfuckers, man, I'd be looking to blow her fucking brains out, because the shit don't make no damn sense. When you are a prosecutor, you're supposed to do your goddamn job. You're supposed to make sure that the evidence is there, and it never was. The only thing that white folk love to do is to say that a nigga did it. That's enough. But I'm here to tell you, white people, white policemen, who are KKK members, who are Trump supporters, who think they can do what they want to do when you want to do it. Okay, well, fine. If you think you can do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and say how you want to do it, that a nigga did it, that is enough, then don't, cry and whine and holler and scream when the table turns, motherfucker. This is how it's going to go down, see. Pride is covering white folks' eyes that they can't even see their own downfall coming, because they can't. If they can, they don't want to face it. That's the problem. Because these tables are turning. And we understand that evil never wins in the end. It always defeats those who partake in it. Always, ALWAYS, and in always, ALLWAYS. And I grew up with white folks. I know how they think, and they think they can be slick and talk slick and say shit. But I'm here to tell you, they talk shit because they know they ain't shit. They know they ain't shit because they talk shit. That's it. They know they were and have been the slaves of the world, that they playing a mind game that they hope they're gonna win, but people are waking up. Period. And they're looking and they're examining the evidence. And when the world wakes up, the game is over. So Linda Fairstein, as far as I'm concerned, your ass need to be in jail getting pumped in your ass by another woman with a dildo or whatever the fuck gonna happen to you. You need to lose everything that you got to these 5 young men. They need to sue the shit out of you. And if they one of them, and I doubt it, but if one of them he kill you, so be it. Now I'm not wishing that, but I'm just saying in regard to how human beings react and do. They want revenge like a motherfucker. They not looking at you saying sorry, you dumb bitch. I mean, goddamn, how unfair, Philistine, do you need to be? I mean, it's like, oh well, just another nigga, a group of niggas. We just gonna, link them up and say they did it. And it was a powerful film. God, man, I can't even tell you how this film made me feel on Netflix. When They See Us. God damn. But I digress. And I know that at some point the future and the table turns to our benefit. And, all I'm saying is the past was the past, the present is the present, and the future will be the future. But the future ain't looking too bright for white folks. It really ain't. Y'all ass is knee deep to a gopher's ass and a lot of fucking problems. And people of color, brown people, are outnumbering you 10 to .5. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, come on, man. You guys are done, not only by your own hand, but by hands of people of color. And that's just going through and going, and this is happening throughout Europe. Like, Gaddafi said, if you kill me, you'll be doing nothing but opening the door to hell of eternity. And like he said, we don't need to bomb or throw bombs or strap on explosive to our bodies and blow up shit. We just need to come up into Europe, and within a 20-year period, it'll be a Muslim state. Now look at it. These Muslims are just taking over the joint. I mean, seriously, and raping and killing. But you're not gonna hear that on the news. White folks have been fucked over once again. And they fear this shit to the utter core. They know they're coming. And one of the nastiest things about this shit is that pedophilia is their nature. Now, I don't want to say like, black folk don't, we do our shit. But god damn, this is a routine, day-to-day, week in, week out, year in, year out thing that white folks love to do. It really is. It's some sick shit. But I digress. So I want to send a shout out to the Central Park 5 because they really need a hand up and a hand out. And I know these millions of dollars are going to help them a lot. I think that's like $8 million a piece or something like that. But, I really want to send a shout out to these guys and best of luck to you. And may your life from this day forward be filled with a lot of blessing. And I swear to God, if I could slap the shit out of Linda Fairstein or whoever the fuck else, believe me, I would. I would just piss and shit on that bitch, man, because the shit doesn't make any sense. And this is what white folk do. They love bullshit. They love to say a nigga did it. And they're beyond about their way. They don't give a fuck about justice. You know what I mean? Hell, if they did, Harry Weinstein, whatever the fuck that motherfucker's name is, in Hollywood, that raping women, white women, and then gets away with it and only pays $45 million. You know, goddamn well he could be making about $100 million. So what's $45 million? Just a damn shame. And Matt Lauer is no difference. As brown as his bitch ass is, he might well be white. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm going to really let it go and digress and try to move on to other topics for tonight, right? But I want you guys to stay positive and to know that whatever is going on in your life, you can make it. You have to believe and know and believe that you can make it. And that's what faith is all about. And that's where your will comes in at and comes from to overcome any obstacle that is in your way. And there is nothing that you cannot do. I mean, I'm serious, guys. There is nothing that you cannot do, that you cannot fulfill. And this is where we're going on to the next subject. And I don't know if you guys ever heard about the four black guys from prison beating in a debate a Harvard team in a debate. I was really impressed with that. But again, here we are, not dealing with people from prison, but these people are from Kenya. And let me bring that up. So, you can, look for this and, kind of stop the video, what have you, and look for the article. But it says students from Kenya Strathmore University beat their Harvard counterparts in global law competition. So Harvard has its great, library of books and knowledge that goes back eons of time. But they got beat. So here we are. I mean, I'm really impressed by this because, Harvard is Harvard, and Yale and Princeton and Stanford, some of the most elitist universities in America, if not the world. But that doesn't mean they can't be beat. And this gives credibility to the Strathmore University debate team on global law. So much kudos to them, and you can see who they were, and they have a great future. So just to give you a little bit of reading here, it says students from Kenya's Strathmore University School of Law became the first African team to win the John H. Jackson Moot Court on World Trade Organization law. The team of three students, namely Michelle Wambua, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly, Kandala Maliha, and Catherine Penda. So it says, made history after beating Harvard Law School in the final of the competition held in Geneva, Switzerland on Saturday. So you can go on and read it and look for it, but I am just really impressed that there is hope for the future. And these young minds, I hope, will really bring a change and bend the arc of justice towards where it should be at. And like I started with this podcast tonight, talking about the injustices of the world and how evil America has been, and its complicit killings with the state of Israel. It really need to be brought. To the forefront and dealt with internally as American citizens. We need to really hold our congressmen and senators and presidents accountable because they work for us. And as soon as we can see that, the better I think, we can really deal with the situation at hand, and to make America live up to its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and given life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And, just to expand on that a little bit, happiness means doing the thing or things in your life that gives you meaning, purpose, sense of direction, and fulfillment. And so with those four elements, I think, we can turn it around, you guys, but we have to really, really, really wake up and not to believe what the media is trying to tell us every single day and talking about bullshit. The Kardashians and Caitlyn Jenner is bullshit issues. We have some serious, serious issues to deal with. Not only dealing with our infrastructure and highways and byways and bridges and whatnot, but we have literally nuclear power plants that are far worse and endangering our water supply, just like Japan did with the Daiichi nuclear fallout with Fukushima. So we're not out of the water. Just because it's over there doesn't mean it's not happening over here. We have a lot of fucking issues that need to be dealt with. And I'm just here to tell you, because over the last couple of podcasts, I really talked about that. Fukushima and Turkey Point down there and in Miami and other places that are just really are detrimental to what we are trying to do as a nation, and what we need to really try to face, man, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't see how it can really cannot be looked at and considered unimportant. It is very, very important, and our future depends on it. And we owe this to the future generation to come. Because I'm 46 years old, so I'm kind of like middle age. I'm somewhere in there, but I can see a brighter day for America and for our kids, because we really truly owe them a lot. And if we don't, then America is going to come full circle and bite its own self on its own ass and blame somebody else, when the blame is squarely on our shoulders. So I want to send a shout out to also Mike Tyson. Now, this was a very interesting article. Hoping I'm trying to bring it up here, but it talks about how Mike Tyson is forming a marijuana empire, literally. And it says hot boxing inside Mike Tyson pot empire, from a premium cannabis to plans for a 420-acre marijuana holiday resort in the California desert with a weed university and music festival venue. Mike Tyson created Tyson Holistics in 2016, where he sells premium strains of cannabis and is developing the 418-acre Tyson Ranch near Desert Hot Springs. So you can pretty much, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but it looks nice, you guys. And for a man who was, sexually abused, according to him, or abused when he was a kid, I don't know what the heck was going on. But the man has come full circle, and I give much kudos to him. And my hat's off to Mike Tyson, because he's a man of conviction. and he lost his daughter, and may she rest in peace, and may you find peace from that, Mike. But through it all, he stayed focused, and he been through a lot. We know about that. But look at him now. He's about to make hundreds of millions of dollars, and I can just really see this man at 52 years of age really putting it down. And the architecture for this is just stunning. I'm sorry. This is not it. I'm hoping I might be able to bring it up, but let's see. No, it's not going to come up. But this is just utterly stunning. His ranch, and you can see it in this particular article, or just Google in general, Tyson Ranch, and you will see um, that his goal of being a major player in the wheat industry. Man, he is really doing it. I am really, really proud of him. So he found his motivation and his happiness, and that's all what you need. Because happiness is the key that opens the door to fame and fortune. And he's already famous. He made hundreds of millions of dollars. Too bad a lot of people took advantage of that, but he gonna come out of it, and he's gonna laugh his way to the bank. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy for him. But yeah, outside of that, you guys, we're coming up on the 8:47, so we got a few minutes left. But I also wanted to turn my attention to a movie star that is truly living up to his reputation, and that is Keanu Reeves. And this was written by a woman who saw herself as just a worker, right? And so the article comes from Next Shark. The author shared the story of meeting Keanu Reeves 10 years ago when she was a lowly theater employee. And the thing is that, and this is her, Rosie Waterland, at Rosie Waterland on Twitter. And so she said, we did all the major premieres, and we were pretty much always told, do not look at the stars in the eyes. You will get fired if you talk to the stars. But what I like about Keanu Reeves, man, he's just totally down to earth because he wasn't always famous. He wasn't always rich. And I think in one of those movies, the amount of money that he earned, he gave it to the developers of the script or whatever the heck it was. And I don't remember it well. But all of these so-called stagehands, he gave them millions of dollars each. Because the man got money. I mean, what's the point of that? But, he has a true sense of the virtue of being kind and being humble and showing humility. And he goes on to say, as one of the Hollywood's most iconic actors, the 54-year-old John Wick star has shocked many with his kindness and humility. Reeves is not only the epitome of cool, but also of class and authenticity, setting him apart from most celebrities of his stature. And I'm trying to find the one part. Let me see. Yeah. Well, it goes on to say that when Rosie saw him, Keanu Reeves winked and said, "Good job," whatever. I'm just trying to make sure that I see it. Um, yeah, but you guys can read the article. I'm trying to find that particular phrase or sentence. But yeah, I mean, Keanu Reeves is beyond humble. I mean, the guy really understands the principles of virtues and the powers of those virtues. And this is what separates a truly human being from animals. You know what I mean? Um, and I like hearing stories, like this. It just really moves me and allows me to be focused and stay focused on what matters. But my hat's off again to Keanu Reeves, and I pray that you have more success and that people really are drawn to you, man, because you are truly uh, representing the God in you. And God is the virtue. And the greatest religion that we can practice is kindness. How hard is that? I mean, I don't get how people are not, you know, moved to be like that. But you gotta have assholes in the world, and you gotta have stupid people in the world. So how you gonna know what smart is if you don't know what stupid is? And how you know what good is if you don't know what evil is? So these two dynamics are really part of our world in which we live. But as you can probably see, or hear my dog hollering, not my dog, my neighbor dog hollering and screaming. So excuse that. But yeah, I mean, I don't get how people don't see this. But we're gonna wrap it up. It's 8:52 right now, about 8 minutes short of the hour. And on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday, because we're going to cut it from Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Wednesday, we're going to be covering political, economic, spiritual, and social issues that are impacting our lives. And this is what this show is about: exposing the hate to the light of day, to the light of love, because that's the only way that you can beat hate. And you gotta have the love of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in order to do that. So, hats off to all of the people who I spoke about tonight: Keanu Reeves, Mike Tyson, and the others, Central Park Five. So, with all of that being said, I'm going to wrap it up, and then we're gonna be back Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, and we're going to get at it. So you know how this show goes. So I'm hoping that people who really like to, listen to me and to our, next guests and co-hosts, because this show is going to really improve over the next couple of months. And, like you can see right now, the White Man's Burden blog, you can join that as well. So please do so. And also make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also check out our online store for our hats and t-shirts of the WMB. So let me look this up as well, and we'll run that for a minute. So, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, the WMB Show, or better known as the WMB of Lies and Deceit. And we will see you Wednesday, and that will be it. So we're gonna, cut on out of here, and we'll let this outro play and see what happens. All right. So peace, good things, good blessings, and make sure you stay black. Peace. All right, well, that didn't go too well. We're going to run that again. All right, you heard it here. Stay up, stay positive, and always stay black. Peace.